Boys, let's do some dumb football questions here before we wrap part 2 of this marathon day 1 free agency recap here. You guys can always submit, audience, your dumb football questions via the YouTube comment section, and we get to as many as we can. Like I said, once like the free agency stuff clears out, we'll have a lot more time for more dumb football questions. Let's start with this one for Jeremiah here. Ooh. This is from Bo Pelini 4810. I think we answered one of his questions a week or two ago, so here's another one. Got another one for you, Jay. Being from Colorado originally, what led you to go to Nebraska for college?
Ooh, yeah, so my whole family, and I mean my cousins, my uncles, all went to CU. I mean, all of them. And so I was down to Arizona State, Nebraska, and Oregon. Those were kind of my final 3 that I went there. And when I came out to Nebraska as a junior, I sat in Bo Pelini's office, and it was like an hour and a half as an unofficial visit, and just fell in love with the dude. Like, I loved Pelini. He was one of the main reasons I came here. Also, I want to be closer to home than Oregon. That's a trek for mom and dad to come out and see you, or to go home on a weekend or anything like that. Like, that's a long ways away. But it also came down to the fact that I wanted to stick it to Dan Hawkins. So Dan Hawkins, my junior year in high school, I tore my ACL. And at that point, I had like 9 or 10 scholarship offers. And he was the only school that called me and was like, hey, we're going to have to revoke that offer until you show us that you can play still. And versus on the flip side, Pelini called me and was like, hey, even if you never play football again, we'd honor that scholarship for you to come get your education.
That's cool.
And that meant a ton to me.
Yeah.
And so the only way that CU was going to give me back my scholarship was if I went and spent the $500 to come to their summer camp. And I was like, dude, I live 45 minutes away. Come to a practice. Come to a game. Come to anything. Right. And so they never offered me. They never offered me back to come play for the CU Buffaloes. So at my signing day, right, I'm in all red, and the news is they're doing their thing. And they're like, why Nebraska? And I kind of told an abbreviated version of the story. It's like, I just really want to go somewhere that I can beat them every single year. And lucky enough, we did. We beat them twice, because as soon as I said that, I was like, shit, I hope we beat them. Right? Like, I can't like talk shit like that.
Can't be that guy.
Lucky enough we beat them both. But I love Nebraska. Love it here. Met my wife here. Like, we absolutely love Nebraska.
Dude, Bo Pelini. Let's talk about Bo Pelini for a second.
Psycho, dude.
What? Because all we see as fans are just like these videos of him just screaming at players, red face, the faux Bo Pelini Twitter account. That's one of the greatest of all time.
Yep.
What was it like playing for? Did you ever have him just light into your ass?
Oh yeah, all the time. Like, you just knew you stayed away from him on game day, like lunatic on game day. But like, other than that, door was always open. You could come talk to him about anything. And he always said, and I always appreciate it, he goes, boys, I will always have your back unless you back me into a corner. Right? And that was always his thing. Is like, unless you put me in a position where I cannot defend you, right? Like, and you do something drastically stupid, I will fight with you and I will have your back always. And he never threw us under the bus to the media. He never he was a lunatic, and he threw chairs through whiteboards, and he did crazy things. But like, I would run through a wall for that dude. And everyone that played for him says the same thing. Very few people didn't like Bo unless you were a fuck up. And if you were, then you hated him, because he was making you doing spatula rolls and pencil rolls. And I mean, his brother was crazier. Carl was a nut job. Like, Carl told me one time that he woke up. I stepped on his foot during practice one time. And he told me that the next day, he goes, Sirles, I had fantasies last night of shooting you in the chest with a shotgun every time. Dude? Every time my ankle throbbed. And I was like, hi, Carl. Good to see you, bud. Like, yeah. Or like, he told me if I held one of his D linemen one more time, he was going to cut off all my fingers with a dull spoon. Like, yeah, just Carl was
totally
crazy.
Normal thing to say to someone.
Totally normal, right? Totally hinged thing to say to someone. Yeah,
you act like that's not said a lot of football, though.
Yeah.
Things like that are constantly echoed.
Yeah. Carl was the crazy one.
These are Ohio boys, by the way.
You're welcome.
We just sat with
Ohio boys.
We just sat with Carmen Basillo at the combine, and he coached for Pelini too. And he was with him. He's like, "Oh, those Pelini boys are something, right?" Like the stories they chased their 8th grade daughter's referees into like the locker room because they were going to beat his ass because they were saying it was the worst ref game they'd ever seen. Like, all 3 of them, all 3 brothers, like they had to like escort him out police because Bo and Carl and Vince were going to murder him.
So is Bo is, I looked this up. He's only 56 years old now. So he went to Youngstown State for like a few years.
Yeah.
Is he just so toxic at this point? He's 56. He has not coached in 4 years anywhere. Yeah. There's nothing on his resume.
The existence of him, the NIL, and the transfer portal will never happen.
I don't think it could happen.
Like
the stories I've heard, people would be like, "I'm out of here, peace."
Yeah, they'd be gone so quick. And
Can't be like that anymore, dude.
Get the fuck out of here, anyways. We didn't want you anyways, right? Wrong. Like that's like that's just how Bo would be. Like the existence of that would not go well.
I feel like I would love this guy.
You would have loved him.
I feel like him and I would have been drinking beers like, let's kill everybody together.
Nah, he would have broke you like a wild horse.
They say that, but they all love me, dude.
They would have, you would have been, dude, you're going to, what's that, Ricky Bobby? They're going to break me like wild horses.
Dude, that's what Singletary told me.
And he did.
He different. That guy was a gold jacket wearing some bitch. He's tough.
XC Runner 1930 chimes in, says, "Love the show. It's my favorite show to listen to." Thank you. It's a lot of shows out there you can choose from. He says, "What is the most common fine given in the O-line room?"
Oh, that's easy. Sensitive.
What was your favorite fine to give?
Sensitive. Everybody gets sensitive because you could just come in and maybe your wife said something. And then all of a sudden, like, my thing was, once you hit me with sensitive, I started talking louder and faster, and guys were instantly like, ultra, and I was like, I'm just going to shut up. And the minute I would shut up, they'd be like, just wait. He's going to say something soon. And I would just explode. They'd be like, like that. And this one you can walk into, bus thrower. If you throw someone under the bus, it could be a total accident. Like, hey, I didn't get the B call. And all of a sudden, everyone's like, Bus thrower. Like, all you just told them that your friend, instead of being like, I should have known this was a B. Like, right? Yeah. You walk into those ones a lot. And you don't mean to, and then the room gets really mad, and then all of a sudden sensitive fines start happening. Dude, literally $100 fine. A guy falling on the ground, right? OTG, on the ground. Could turn into like a $10,000 session because everybody's just back and forth. And then all of a sudden the coach is involved and he's getting fined. Once Tony got fined for sensitive, it was on. Yeah. Don't use guys thinking I'm getting ding, ultra. He just stopped the meeting, put his head down. Everybody be like, ding, ultra. Like he just, you just keep going and going, dude. It's fun.
It's so fun. We did Stockholm Syndrome. So love like after. So like anytime you'd suck up to the O-line coach, dude, you just dig him with a Stockholm Syndrome, and you'd be like, oh, right, because it was just like, oh, okay, yeah, like, yeah, coach, you're right. Yeah. Or like if you asked, we had an Eddie Haskell.
That was another one.
If you asked a question you already knew the
answer to. Like, so coach, if the mic's standing over there, we're gonna want to mic him and go to him, right? Be like, of course, stupid, ding. Eddie Haskell, right?
Tony
like that was always a good one too.
Who brings the bell into the O-line room? Is the bell?
I had the bell.
Do you have an actual bell in the O-line room?
Jay has it. I used to ding people, and then Jay would just. It's funny because as soon as he dinged, you just see him flip his book over.
I had
and it was the backside of his notebook.
Yeah, I had my notebook with like, God,
seriously, Sirles.
Driving me nuts.
Allergies.
He's got allergies. His mic stand.
Shoulder surgery. No, so yeah, Boone had the bell. And then I just had a special binder that just sat there in my spot in the old line room, and I just flip it open to the date and write down like what was it, and someone would say it, and then you write it down and go from there,
dude.
And then close it and you put it back. And if you got caught screwing with the ledger,
if
someone tried to go in the ledger, that's a big fine. Like,
big fine.
Don't mess with the ledger.
Here's
I'm
another
allowed
one.
to hold the ledger.
And this is going to sound weird, but you got to remember, we are O-linemen. We do not want any recognition. If you got a head coach call out, whether it was good or bad, that was like $1,000 fine. If you got a game ball that was another fine.
$500.
Just like literally, there was fines that like if Zim said your name, it was like a ding. And so you'd constantly be like, please don't say my name. Please don't say my name. And he'd be like, hey, I just want to give a shout out to all my guys on the O-line. And instantly all 5 guys would get fined.
Zim figured it out. Like towards the end of the year, he'd be like, "Oh, this is a fine." I'd be like, "Damn it!" And so, like, if you got a game ball, right? Like, you would get, game ball's going to Alex Boone this week, and that was a $750 sentence.
I was so
right because you got a head coach call out at $250, and a $500 game ball. Like, not good. Not what you want. And then towards the end of practice, like, he'd be like finishing it, and like he'd be like, all right, here we go, let's break it down, and you'd start like sinking in the back because you didn't want him to call your name, and he'd be like, and then he'd start figuring it out, so he just randomly start saying guys' names. Like, damn it,
seriously, that was the worst.
I got one more for you guys here because Jay's got to drive himself to the
hospital.
I got time.
I just got a text from my surgeon. It's like, don't come in until 9, so we got time.
Oh, you're good now. I do have to catch a flight in like
and I do have
2
to take
hours.
kids to school.
We'll do one more. We'll do one more dumb football question.
Oh yeah.
This is from Rory Duffy here on YouTube, and we've talked about you guys. You guys have told Sam Bradford stories. You both played for the 2016 Vikings when Bradford came in, and when he was healthy, he was slinging it.
Oh yeah.
And the first game of the 2017 season where he threw for
Lit
like
up the
300
Saints.
yards, 3 touchdowns, he led the league in completion percentage those years. So the question is, if Sam Bradford had stayed healthy, and he was 29 years old when the Vikings traded for him, if he had stayed healthy from 2017 through 2021, what does that look like for the Vikings?
You don't want to know.
How well would they have
He
performed?
was Matt Stafford before Matt Stafford.
Monster.
And I'm not even kidding you. He was a monster. And I played him in the Niners when they drafted him at the St. Louis. So we were there twice a year seeing him. This dude was a specimen. People forget how big he was.
Yes.
He chased down Roman Harper for 80 yards and destroyed. You
remember we pulled him up?
We were making fun of him. We were like, Sam,
up.
when did you turn into like a big pussy? And he was like, what are you talking about? I was never a pussy. He's like, pull this clip up. Not even kidding you. We found it in the Exos. It was grainy film. He goes, go to play 37. Watch this. Throws a pick on like the 2-yard line. Dude's running down the sideline, and you see Sam come out of nowhere and just body shot the shit out of him. He's like, I was a player, boys. And we were like, oh, my God. Dude, I heard stories that he was, like, cleaning 365 pounds in his prime. Like, they were like, Sam was a dude. He just got hit with so many injuries that his body just couldn't recover from it. I would have paid half of my salary to see Sam healthy for 4 years. I can't tell you that if it would have been insane. And you want to talk about a guy that was the calmest person? Like, I look at Matt Stafford as one of the ideal people for calm. Like, the dude's never really frazzled. He's always kind of chill, even in the media. This guy, you had to, like, check his pulse. You were like, hey, are you alive? He'd be like, yeah, I'm fine. What's up? We're down a lot. Just making sure you're okay. He'd be like, yeah, we're good. We got to stop fucking letting these guys through the A-gaps. We got to stop doing this. You'd be like, okay, he's alive.
Yeah.
You'd be like, yeah, we got to hit this out route better. I got it. Post. There. We'll do this. Calm down. You'd be like, dude, we really got to get going. They'd be like, yeah, I know.
He was so accurate.
So chill.
Like, and the way he'd put the ball anywhere he wanted it. I mean, anywhere he wanted it was so impressive. So impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, he was, dude.
He moved very slow too. By the way, it kind of at times
Jay's
it drove me
allergies.
nuts because he'd walk really slow, and you could tell he was thinking a lot. And you'd be like, "Sam, I need an answer," and he'd be like, "I'm thinking." You'd be like, God.
He got stuck on that horrible St. Louis team, and the franchise was
broken.
crumbling. They were
broke
about
it.
to move to LA.
They did.
He winds up in Philadelphia. It was I think it was the year that Chip Kelly got fired, but he performs pretty well in Philadelphia. Vikings trade a first-round pick out of desperation because Bridgewater gets hurt. And he was 29 years old with a good Vikings infrastructure, weapons, right? Because you guys had Stephon Diggs at the time,
We did.
right?
It was
and
Diggs,
Thielen.
Rudy,
Rudy.
You guys had
Jay
some
Wright.
guys, man.
We still had AP at that point.
Yep, we had Jet.
Yeah,
We had Matt Asiata.
We had dudes.
We had dudes everywhere.
Because that was right after the year we had just made it to where we should have went to Arizona, but Blair Walsh wide left. Like, we had the key players were there, which is why Zimmer. I remember Zimmer walking into the. I can remember him walking in and going, "We just traded for Bradford. I'm here to win Super Bowls." Right? Like, that's literally his rationale when he walked into the O-line room and told us that was, "I traded Sam Bradford because we're going to here to win a Super Bowl. We're not here to not." And it was like, "Okay,
Inject
here we go."
man.
Dude, I remember when he walked in, I was sitting in the cold tub, and I was on my phone, and he literally was walking towards me with Spielman.
Wow.
And I remember he came up to me, and he was like, hey, big fella, how you doing? I was like, oh, my God, Sam Bradford. And he goes, hey. He goes, I just want to know what kind of dip you do. I go, oh, my God. I start crying. I'm a Copenhagen log cut kind of guy. He's like, I'll have a log for you tomorrow. I was like, this guy
Sam
knows
was the
what
best.
he's doing.
Sam was the best.
He could. Oh my! I
I
was like,
think
why are
he's
my clothes
disappeared.
off? I don't know what I'm doing. Like
I think
he
he's
just took your
disappeared
breath
off
away.
the grid. If he's not off the grid, we got to get him on. He'd be a great addition to the pod. But he disappears.
You know what?
Like,
I'm gonna text him right now.
Boone, you got him on
this.
the old Purple Daily Radio.
Yeah, I got him on.
show
I brought him on
5 years
Purple
ago.
Daily, dude. And he's like in Oklahoma. He did exactly what he said he was gonna do. And we were like, Sam, what is retirement? He goes, oh, you ain't ever gonna hear from me again. And I was like,
You never
everybody
see me
says that.
again. Yeah.
Everybody says that. And the minute he disappeared, like I'd text him like once a year to be like, hey, are you okay? And he'd be like, miss you too, bud. Like, my God, he's still alive.
I texted him when I was in Oklahoma hunting, and like I drove by where I was like, I think you live somewhere around here, and he goes, yep. I was like, okay, good talk. Talk to you later, Sam.
That's how he is. Very quiet.
We need a list of your favorite quarterbacks that we need to get on the podcast. Sam Bradford, number 1, 100%.
100%.
Work on
Watch
that
this.
list.